65 cut. These are the meaningless ramblings of a Scottish we-done whore and a pissy ex-video store clerk. Their ongoing mission is to set right the movie wrongs. They're gonna need a bigger podcast.
Hello, you are listening to 365 Flicks Road to Infinity War. This is episode 2.
Yeah.
This is The Incredible Hulk from 2008.
The red-headed stepchild of Phase 1.
Exactly.
The movie that we could not get anybody to pick.
Yeah, well, there's a few, isn't there?
There's
Phase 1.
There is.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
We are, as you all know, if you listen to the first episode in our little bit at the start, we are going to be doing this with friends. We have no friends this time. It is just Chris and myself.
Well, it's Christmas, isn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. We are trying to get ahead of ourselves and do something. Try and just be positive. So let's talk about the Incredible Hulk, mate. This is a hard one, by all accounts.
It's kind of the Batman Begins of the thing. It's because you always forget it's there.
Yeah,
I don't even own it, and I've got all of them. But yeah, you kind of forget it's there. And I watched it a couple of nights ago, and it's actually a decent movie.
I am probably one of the few out there who genuinely, the first time I watched this movie, I actually really enjoyed The Incredible Hulk. I think it's a great little film. I don't think it's... I wouldn't say it's underrated, but it doesn't get any of the love that it should get. And it is just kind of brushed to the side. But, I mean, there's reasons for that, I guess. But first of all, before we get into the review, Chris, you got a job to do, mate.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's still business as usual.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Why would I forget about that when we've already done episode 1?
I know, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, 365 Flicks, we are on Facebook and Twitter. I am on Skype. We're on Facebook and Twitter. If you search for 365 Flicks Podcast, don't forget to follow us and subscribe to us and share the page and like the page, and keep an eye out for any new episodes that when they come out and all of that kind of thing. You can also look for us on a few networks. We are on the Tangibout Network. We are on Weeby Geeks, our British home, nerdly.co.uk.
Nerdly.
Exactly. Yeah, and I've kind of lost the plot a little bit now.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
There's going to be episodes coming out around this, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, it'll be alright, man. It'll be fine. Yeah, subscribe to us on the iTunes, or Apple Podcasts, or whatever it's called. It kind of has different names now. Mm-hmm. Don't forget to drop us a 5-star review, and we might even, if you drop us 5-star reviews on these episodes, we might even read them out.
Wow! Maybe. That will require work, though. You do realise that? Yeah.
Be fine. So yeah, you never know. We might, if we can be arsed, read them out for you. But only if you leave 5 stars. We don't want any of that 4-star, 3-star pish.
No, we don't do that. We only, iTunes only accepts 5-star reviews for our podcast anyway. If you try to give us a 4-star, it will be thrown back at you in your face, you hostile bitch. So yeah, 5-star, please.
Oh, can we reject 4-star reviews?
No, but we totally should be able to.
Sweet, man, we should. Also, follow us on Spotify and have a look for us on any other third-party podcasting apps. We're everywhere.
Awesome.
I've been alone for a long time. Not because I want to be, but because until I solve this problem, I have to be.
Your target is a fugitive from the U.S. government who stole military secrets.
This is the location. Snatch and grab only, live capture.
Take him.
As far as I'm concerned, that man's whole body is property of the U.S. Army.
You have to get as far away from me as you can. Go! There are aspects of my personality that
Let's talk about The Incredible Hulk 2008.
Yeah, let's do it.
The semi sort of reboot, remake, retelling of the Hulk from the Eric Bana movie. Which, first of all, before we go into The Incredible Hulk 2008, what were your feelings on the Eric Bana movie? How did you get on with that movie back in the day?
Shit.
It's not shit.
It is shit.
It's just super pretentious and tries to be massively over the top CG, and it just doesn't work. To be fair.
Well, the Hulk looks like fucking Kermit the Frog.
He does a little bit.
It's like you say, it's over the top. It's pretentious. It's wanky. It's fucking just. He's. Yeah, but I don't really rate Ang Lee, to be honest with you, at all.
I was going to say, that is the thing. It is Ang Lee, and why on earth would you give Ang Lee that comic book movie, or any comic book movie, really? Because, yeah, Ang Lee's a bit shit, to be fair.
I remember I was in Universal Studios when, or just before the movie came out, the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, no, the Hulk.
Yeah.
And there was merch everywhere. You know, the big fucking fist, the big green fist you can put on and all that kind of shit. Everywhere. Fucking everywhere. And yeah, then we got that. Like, looking into the fucking existential crisis of Bruce Banner becoming the Hulk, and fuck off.
Which thankfully, when it came to this movie, it was like, let's just not drop all of it, but let's drop most of it, and let's just get right into the fucking guts of this film, because basically we start this film after the accidents all happened, which is fantastic.
Yeah, no origin story.
Not really, no. They tell it in a fantastic little CG kind of... at the very start, you get a little montage, because every movie needs a montage, so this movie starts with a fucking montage, which is brilliant, and it just shows you how Edward the fuck Norton became the Hulk.
Yeah.
Ed Norton.
Yeah, he did a good job in this movie.
He's fantastic in this. It's Ed Norton.
Well, yeah.
Can we just get that up front?
But I mean, okay. Let's talk a little bit about the Hulk. So it was released 2008.
Yep.
8th of June in the US, 13th of June in the UK. Directed by Liv Tyler.
Yep.
I might be pronouncing that wrong. I don't know. Has a score of 6.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Mm-hmm. And took $263 million in its entirety in the international box office.
Yeah.
On a budget of $150 million. So it made its money back, didn't set the world on fire.
No.
In the US, it reached number 1, knocked Kung Fu Panda off the top spot.
Wow.
But then it lost the top spot a week later to Get Smart.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 2 wows in quick succession. Do you know any other movies that Louis Leterrier made up until this point? Did you have a look at that?
I had a look at, not up till it was Transporter, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was like Transporter 2, and the Jet Li movie Unleashed, which I absolutely think is a fantastic movie. And yeah, did you never see Unleashed with Jet Li? It's fucking brilliant.
I don't think so.
But interestingly enough, when I was looking at his Rotten Tomatoes, was like, this is actually his highest rated movie as The Incredible Hulk.
Really?
Yeah, and people talk shit about it.
Do people talk shit about it?
I don't think people really talk shit about it. They just don't talk about it, like you said up front at the start. People just forget about this film and just, yeah, let's just let it be its thing, and yeah.
It's the Ed Norton thing, isn't it, really?
It is!
I think if you'd had Mark Ruffalo in it, then it would have been a different story.
Which you have some interesting trivia on that. I
do. We'll do the trivia at the end, though.
Okay, let's do that at the end.
So, yes. So, blurb of the movie. I'm trying not to fuck this up. So, depicting the events after the Gamma Bomb, the Incredible Hulk tells a story of Dr. Bruce Banner, who seeks a cure to his unique condition, which causes them to turn into a giant green range monster, as Tony Stark would say. under emotional stress. Whilst on the run for the military, which seeks his capture, Banner comes close to a cure, but all is lost when a new creature emerges, the Abomination.
The Abomination.
Mm.
What a name.
He is good, man. Tim Roth is fucking good.
Oh, Tim Roth's Tim Roth. Anybody who's listened to this podcast, any other episode that we've ever done, we love to gush over Tim Roth. We just think he's a fucking fantastic actor. And you know what? In this movie, even as the Abomination, he ain't phoning this in. He's loving being in this movie, and he's fucking great in this movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, basically, as soon as he comes on the screen, he shoots a dog, which I don't like. So, you knew he was going to... What?
You don't like that kind of thing, I know.
No.
But he was playing a bastard, though.
I know this.
All bastards shoot dogs.
Not all bastards.
Most of them.
Mm.
So is this like the second Ed Norton movie off the top of your head that you can think where there's like dog abuse in it?
What was the first one?
The 25th Hour?
I've only seen that once.
There's like a dog that gets fully battered in that film as well.
Oh.
Maybe it's an Ed Norton thing because, Ed Norton.
Maybe he puts that in the contract. Then Disney took over and like, no, none of that, son. None of that. So the movie, as the blurb said, the movie kicks off. Bruce Banner is already the Hulk, no oranges push, and he's gone dark after he stopped looking like Eric Bana. He's in Brazil looking for a cure, and he's working at a bottling juice factory thing. Yeah,
not a very conspicuous job for him to have.
Not really. Well, like, the guy, the boss fella says, well, you're not letting me put you in the books or whatever, and he kind of says, no, I can't do that.
Yeah, so he's off the grid.
Yeah, he's off the grid, exactly. So yeah, he cuts his hand, and then a little bit falls into Spike Lee's bottle.
Spike Lee? Stanley.
Did I say Spike Lee?
You did say Spike Lee.
Shite.
Totally different Lee, but
that's a lot of geek cred lost there.
That is a lot of geek cred. I mean, to be fair, they both look the same, so I
feel like I should get my Spider-Man tattoo removed.
I feel like you should.
After that, that's shoddy. That is shoddy. So the Americans get a track of him. Then we get our first little action set piece. We get introduced to Tim Roth.
Yep.
As we said, he's a badass.
Charge your glass for Tim Roth.
24 minutes in, we get our first shot of the Hulk.
Yeah.
None of this Ang Lee bullshit. Yeah, looks great. The Hulk looks great in this movie.
The thing I like about him in this movie is that he looks genuinely like he's been through some shit in this film. Like, he looks rough as balls. The hair's all over the place. Like, the Hulk looks like he's been on the run, even when he's the Hulk. You know what I mean? He doesn't come out looking shiny and green like you say, like Kermit the Frog. He looks like he's been through some shit.
There is a moment where it's when Tim Roth first sees him.
Yeah.
And he's like in the shadows and that, and he kind of comes half out the shadows, and it looks fucking amazing.
That's what I mean, though. Like, and this, yeah, this is why I hate the fact that this movie doesn't get the credence that it does deserve. I mean, I know it's Phase 1, and I know Phase 1 was a very shaky phase because they were basically saying, right, I think we know what we're trying to do now, and we're going to get you to the Avengers, but we might have a little, we've got a little bit of learning to do.
Well, I suppose that's it, isn't it? It's just like first series syndrome, isn't it? They were finding their feet and all that. I don't think, like, Avengers Assemble wouldn't have been a thing yet. The expanded universe was only just become, or not the MCU was only just becoming a thing because we get Tony Stark at the end.
Well, I seem to remember back in the day when this movie was being made, Iron Man had come out. Nobody expected Iron Man to do what it did. So they rushed really fucking quickly to get that scene into the end of the movie, to get Tony Stark crossing over. So I think they had an idea of what they were going to do, but they just weren't sure where it was going to go. And you have to remember, at this point in time, they were still in bed with Paramount Pictures on Iron Man, and they were still in bed with Universal Pictures on this film. So Marvel Studios wasn't quite, although they were making the movies, they weren't quite at the helm yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. See, I always thought that they didn't do any sort of universe building or anything like that until Iron Man 2. But obviously, like you say, the idea was there. That's what we want to do and all that. So,
well, yeah, like I say, I think they saw.
But there is actually about 3/4 of the way through this movie, there is the emblem of S.H.I.E.L.D. in there.
There's the S.H.I.E.L.D. emblem, and I'm sure somewhere near the start of the movie as well, there's a reference to Nick Fury. You don't get Nick Fury, but there's a reference to Nick Fury, director of S.H.I.E.L.D. or agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. So they threw stuff in there, but I do think that the Tony Stark scene at the end was like, right, we're going for it.
Yeah.
And you have
obviously, like Iron Man 2 would have been in development at that point.
Yeah. And you have to remember, these movies, Iron Man and the Hulk, came out, what, like 2-3 months apart?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't long in between.
Well, it was from the box office thing. I think the week before Iron Man was still in 4th place at the US box office.
Fucking hell. It's not a bad year for them, not a bad
Yeah.
year.
So then Bruce Banner, Dark Knight Rises himself back into the US, where he goes looking for. He goes to the university to try and find the guy who was emailing him in Brazil, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's basically continuing his search for a cure, and then we get introduced to Liv Tyler's character.
Yay!
What do you think of Liv Tyler in this movie?
She's Liv Tyler. Liv Tyler's Liv Tyler in this movie. She doesn't... I'm a big fan of Liv Tyler, but she doesn't necessarily bring anything to this movie apart from Liv Tyler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's kind of... She's not really a three-dimensional character necessarily. No. She's kind of, like you say, she's just there to scream and...
Yeah, and just be the
damsel, look like Liv Tyler. Yeah,
be the damsel in distress. They obviously didn't want anybody to cast a shadow of a Gwyneth Paltrow, because why the fuck would you? So you cast Liv Tyler. I like her in the movie, just don't necessarily think she had a chance. You know what I mean? To flesh it out.
Yeah, who was the leading lady in the Hulk?
In the Hulk, it was Jennifer Connelly.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, Liv Tyler's better.
Liv Tyler is better, to be fair. Mm-hmm. Although Jennifer Connelly has now wormed her way into the Marvel, but we'll get to that in a future episode. She has wormed her way into the Marvel universe, but we'll get to that. She? Yeah, we will get to that.
Okay. Yeah, one thing that did upset me was Liv Tyler in this movie is fucking Phil Dunphy.
She's what?
Phil Dunphy from Modern Family is in it.
Yeah, Ty Burrell, yeah.
And Liv Tyler's fucking him.
Yeah, I had no recollection of him being in this movie.
No, neither did I, and that's a bit bugging, isn't it?
He's not exactly a big part, though, is he?
No, but still. Sloppy seconds in that, you know.
Okay. But she's not for long, because Bruce comes back.
Well, that's it. So we have the, a kind of, it's a lot of sort of exposition in this bit. It slows the movie down a little bit.
Yeah.
Where they're in the university and then stuff happens and things, all that. Then we get to our second big set piece with tanks and shit.
One thing you can say about this film is the set pieces are fucking brilliant. Like, there's some really, really good set pieces. Some really good, like...
Oh, yeah.
Hulk versus the military, Hulk versus Abomination later on in the movie, which has its problems, has its issues, but for the most part, it's decent. But that scene when he's up against the military and all that, and Emil Blonsky coming in and trying to take him down and everything, that is a fantastic action sequence. You can't take anything away from that. Definitely.
So yeah, Tim Roth's character has been... He kind of has started to undergo the same kind of treatment as Bruce Banner had to make him stronger but slightly weaker than that dosage. So he's got better reflexes and all that kind of thing going into this set piece, so he's able to kind of dodge the I think it's car doors or
Yeah.
something, or is it like shrapnel off a crashed helicopter or something like that? Which that bit did look bloody awesome.
He's pretty much running around doing L1R1 rolls, isn't he? From Tomb Raider.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But it looks
much.
good. It looks good.
Pretty much.
And
So that ends well. He doesn't last very long because he kind of squares off with the Hulk, which again looked pretty cool.
quite a
until
nice,
Hulk-
iconic scene.
Yeah, full on kicked him in the chest and bust him.
Yeah, pretty much. That is a fantastic little bit there, though, when Tim Roth fully squares off with the Hulk, and I'm sitting there thinking, Tim Roth could kick the fuck out the Hulk.
Oh yeah. Which version of Tim Roth though?
Every version of Tim Roth.
Mm.
I would... Tim Roth. What Tim Roth movies do I like? I don't think Mr. Orange would have a chance. I think, because he'd just be bleeding all over the place, really.
Yeah. What's he called in Pulp Fiction?
Tim Roth in Pulp Fiction. Shit.
He's the restaurant robber, isn't he?
He is, yes.
But he would just be going about calling Hulk Honey Bunny, so that wouldn't work.
Yeah, he's officially he's credited as Pumpkin in that movie. So no, he's not.
Okay.
He's not going to win.
Did you know that, or did you just look that up?
No, he is actually credited because there's some good credits in that movie. You know the guy that owns the diner.
Yeah.
And Tim Roth grabs him by the head and smashes him off the counter, and he's like, "Don't hurt me. I'm just a coffee shop." And as he says coffee shop, he gets slammed off the table, so he doesn't get to say anything else. So he is actually credited as "I'm just a coffee shop."
Sweet.
Pulp Fiction's got some great credits. We should do an episode on that one day.
But
yeah, we're talking about this movie.
We are talking about this movie. Yeah. Yeah, so Tim Roth gets all bust up and all that. Bruce and Betty escape.
Yeah.
No, they don't escape. They don't escape.
No,
yes, they do escape. Yes, they escape at this bit, but then, because then they go and see the guy, they go and meet the guy who was emailing Bruce.
Fucking Tim Blake Nelson, man.
Is that the guy in the...
Yeah, Mr. Blue. Plays Samuel Stearns. He's fucking fantastic actor. And I don't know why he's not been in any more MCU movies, because they kind of set that character up real well.
He was pretty irritating though, wasn't he?
He was, but he's exactly what the MCU is looking for in their characters, to be honest. If you know what I mean.
Irritating characters.
Irritating characters, but he's sort of like the comic relief. He's got some funny one-liners. He's only in it for a short period of time, but he's got some good little lines.
Yeah. Nah.
And
I wasn't crazy about this scene, to be honest with you.
And it's Tim Blake Nelson, so...
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. You know,
I can tell.
But you didn't like this scene, no?
Nah, it was stupid. So they put the blue or purple pish into him, and then he turns into the Hulk, and then... What is it? They have to wait for him to turn all the way into the Hulk before he can...
Yeah, they basically...
Turn him back or some fucking pish.
They basically, like, flatline him or something, don't they? Fucking that is...
But then, of course, the Hulk kind of knocks him out the way just as he's about to pull the lever, and then he gets up and he just stares at them, and it's like, I could have done without that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, as much as I do like Tim Blake Nelson in these scenes, that scene isn't necessary. It's a bit pish, to be fair. It kind of reminds you of the Eric Bana struggling with himself, and we know that David Bana or Bruce Banner and the Hulk are like struggling with each other, but we know that we don't need to be shown that constantly.
Yeah.
But this is like the one time they did it, so I'm going to let them off.
It's kind of like the early Batman films.
Yeah.
Where every 2 minutes you had to be told that, Bruce Wayne was struggling, and he was scared of bats, by the way, just in case you forgot, he was scared of bats.
And his parents are dead.
And his parents are dead.
Don't forget that.
And pearls.
Hey, leave Zack Snyder's pearls.
What? I didn't say that.
Leave Snyder's pearls alone. We're talking Marvel here.
So the Bruce and Betty are captured at this point, I think.
Yeah.
And taken away. Tim Roth makes, what's his name? give him some of the serum to turn him into, well, what he becomes.
Yeah, the Abomination.
Yeah. I quite like that. I did actually like the scene where he's like slamming the irritating doctor about, and he kind of goes, "I didn't say no." I did quite like that.
Does he not keep saying, like, well, why do people keep hitting me, or why do you people keep hitting me? That's a very, very MCU thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. Meh. So basically that's us into the climax of the movie. So we've got
the climactic climax.
Exactly. So Bruce and Betty are on the police helicopter, or the military helicopter, being taken away. Tim Roth turns into the Abomination, which, it looks, the Abomination looks great. I think it's a sinister, badass bad guy.
Here's one for you, right? The Abomination or Doomsday?
The Abomination.
I had a feeling you were going to say that. To be fair, on rewatch, because I rewatched this the other night as well, and on rewatch, I think the Abomination looks pretty damn good. Like, I remember back in the day watching this movie, and that was like my biggest peeve of this movie was that fight sequence between the Abomination and Hulk. I was kind of like, oh my god, there's so much wrong with this. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. But upon rewatch, I'm sitting there going, why did I not like this? This actually looks pretty fucking badass. And it
does, fine. There's nothing wrong with it.
There's some actual like real world destruction going on here. There's some good scenes here.
Yeah, well, exactly. There's the bit where the Abomination has the chains, like waving the chains around and all that. It looks fucking cool. So basically, Bruce is on the helicopter. The Abomination is just destroying shit, and he kind of goes, "Well, the Hulk is the only thing that can stop him."
Of course.
So, nice little moment where he like chucks himself out of the helicopter.
Really well done.
He thinks he's going to turn into the Hulk mid-air, but doesn't. I quite like that.
It is proper well done, that scene. I like that. You get like you got a lot going on, and then they slow it down for a second to give you that, and it's like shit.
Yeah.
You are literally sat there watching it going, holy fuck. But yeah, great little scene.
I was hoping for the bit where the Hulk has the chains around the Abomination's throat at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, he's pulling, and Liv Tyler eventually goes, "Stop it!" I was hoping for a bit of decapitation.
Yeah, like General Zod style.
Yeah.
Let's just snap his fucking neck!
Damn.
But Betty Ross ain't going to say that because it's Liv Tyler.
Well, she wouldn't say that.
No. She's a wholesome girl. Sometimes. Not often.
And that's the end of the movie. So
yeah,
Hulk wins. The Abomination is incapacitated, though not killed.
No.
So I guess if there was a Hulk 2 or Incredible Hulk 2, then maybe he would have made a return, or could we see him back in the MCU at some point? Probably not.
Well, this is the thing, because we kind of thought for a long time it was sort of like they were just ignoring the Hulk. They weren't doing anything with that. They looked like we weren't going to get an Incredible Hulk 2. Fucking Edward Norton's pissed off with Marvel and all that kind of thing, and he went away because he's a touchy cunt. And then all of a sudden Thunderbolt Ross turns up in some of the newer movies, Civil War. He turned up in Civil War, so they're acknowledging these characters now. So there's all likelihood that we could get Tim Roth as the Abomination coming back.
Well, there is talk of a Planet Hulk movie.
Yep,
I have seen that the animated movie. It's all right.
Yeah,
it's all right.
I personally don't think we're getting Tim Roth back, but.
Yeah,
but it would be great because they have all these fantastic characters now. Back then, when they made this movie, they were just making a standalone superhero movie. But now, with all these characters hanging around, Tim Roth can cut it with the best of them. He's probably better than most of the roster they have right now, actor wise, like actual acting credibility wise. So it would be amazing seeing him fucking, putting his Tim Roth chops up amongst Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, all the Chris's, and just cutting it in the MCU.
I'd be happy with that. Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
I'd be happy with that.
But you never know. I mean, they're on about doing something different after Infinity War, so you never know what's going to come about.
And I think after we personally, as of recording right now, we haven't seen Thor Ragnarok, but it sounds like the setting. It sounds like we may get a Hulk movie soon. Hopefully.
You never know. Well, they haven't released any.
No.
Other than Guardians 3, Spidey 2.
Yeah.
There are Captain Marvel. Meh. There aren't any others, are there?
Not really. Not that I can think of off the top of my head. No, because they kind of.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, is that Phase 4?
Ant-Man and the Wasp, but the thing is, there's that many posters and memes that keep dropping on the internet right now with all these different movies that are getting announced, and half of them are just fan-made, so we don't even know if they're true.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. We'll get there.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, so that's the end of the movie. So Bruce is buggered off again. He's in the middle of nowhere, and it ends with a nice little scene where he's meditating, and there's you hear choppers in the background, and then he opens his eyes, and his eyes are green. A little cheeky smirk on his face. Nice little ending there. Yeah, I liked it. I liked that ending. Nice, and gives him time to regenerate into Mark Ruffalo.
Regenerate into Mark Ruffalo. Which at the time I was pissed off when the Avengers was coming out and they said Mark Ruffalo was taking over, but it turns out it's been a brilliant choice, so I can't be mad at it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was kind of the same. Give Ed Norton a go. Mm-hmm. He deserves to come back. The movie wasn't that bad. After rewatching the movie the other night, I really enjoyed it. I don't think I'm going to buy it and add it to my Marvel collection.
But you need to.
I don't know what I would do.
You need to have the full collection. You can't have the MCU collection without one movie.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
That's pure crack. Every
time.
But
then my DC collection doesn't have Suicide Squad, and I damn sure won't have Justice League in it.
Well, that is just wrong. You are not a completionist, and that upsets me.
Well, I apologise.
As you should. Mm-hmm. I do own it, by the way, and yes.
Well, I got it on Amazon Prime for free.
Good lad. So, that's always the best way to get it for free. So.
Oh yeah.
That's how most people watch it.
Free for the cost of Amazon Prime.
But that is pretty much the end of the movie, and we have the before the credits, the pre-credits scene of Tony Stark walking in and telling Thunderbolt Ross that he's putting a team together. Yeah, a bit arrogant. A bit arrogant, considering did he not get told he couldn't be on the team in Iron Man 2?
Yeah, that was Iron Man. That was Iron Man 2. So, timeline-wise, this could get messy now, Kev.
This could get messy.
Timeline-wise, this must take place after Iron Man 2.
Wow.
Because at the end of Iron Man 1, why would Tony Stark be putting a team together when he's got... Does he have anything to do with S.H.I.E.L.D.? Does he know anything about S.H.I.E.L.D. at the end of Iron Man 1?
I think he's met Agent Coulson, because you get Agent Coulson in Iron Man 1, but other than that, I don't think he knows about the super team.
So he doesn't know shit all about the Avengers Initiative.
Right.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. At the end of Iron Man 1. So he doesn't know anything about that until the end of Iron Man 2. So why would he be putting the team together unless it's the end of Iron Man 2?
Well, maybe you're right. Maybe that's...
So they're all, in tandem and that.
Yeah, they must be on the same day. Iron Man 2, he must fight Whiplash and then zoom over to wherever Thunderbolt is in that bar, and there you go, done. We've just solved it.
That's a messy couple of weeks for New York anyway, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Because you got Hulk fucking throwing shit about and destroying helicopters, and Tony Stark fucking fighting Whiplash and a dozen, fucking droids and shit.
But as we soon learn, that's that just keeps Michael Keaton in business.
Well, That's true. That is very true.
But we'll get there.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. So yeah, that is the movie. Interestingly enough, we get this is as far as I'm aware, this is the only MCU movie that doesn't have a mid credits or an end credits scene.
Isn't this the first time that an MCU had? Oh well, I suppose it's the first time that a Marvel movie had a post credits scene. Because we had Spider-Man and we had Fantastic Four and all that. I don't think that any of those ones had any. That the dog is growling in his sleep, by the way.
Yeah, I can hear him.
Yeah. But I don't think any of those movies had an end credit sequence, did they?
Nope, not as far as I'm aware, no.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Trendsetter, if anything.
But yeah, so what else do you have to tell us about the Hulk? Do you have any?
Well, we talks about some trivia here.
Oh, let's do some trivs.
Oh.
Sorry.
Right, so
I said it, then I instantly threw up in my mouth.
Good lad. Right, first one. At around an hour and 4 minutes, Betty Ross buys Bruce some purple pants. In the comics, the Hulk is always seen wearing purple pants.
Nice.
There you go.
Is these the purple pants that he checks on the woman with the big fat ass? Because
I can't remember that.
That's a great scene in the movie. It's just like they're sort of montaging it for a little bit, and he's sort of like going through his everyday life, and he's buying a pair of pants, and he basically measures them on a big fat black lady's bum. And he's like, yeah, they'll fit.
Bit racist.
A little bit. Good scene though.
Okay, I must have been asking about with my phone at that point.
Probably.
Next one. This is an interesting one. This is one that neither of us were aware about. But the director, Louis Leterrier, wanted Mark Ruffalo for the role of Bruce Banner, but Marvel insisted on Ed Norton.
Yeah. And
now this one's interesting.
This one is interesting because this could have been a bit of a game changer.
Well, I mean, would it have started off the... I don't know. I mean, would he have appeared earlier than Avengers Assemble, do you think?
If Mark Ruffalo had done it.
Yeah.
Possibly, because, I mean, it makes you want... It kind of answers the question of why they went to Mark Ruffalo for the Avengers, because by that point, it's all Marvel. Marvel's got like everything by that point. I think the first movie they did that wasn't a co-production was Captain America. So it makes you wonder if they would have thrown him in an earlier movie after Hulk. Yeah.
I suppose they had to, because it wasn't, it didn't make all the money in the world. I suppose it didn't make, Iron Man money. So maybe they needed to, take a step back, and then we didn't see him again for another 4 years after that. So until Avengers Assemble, but interesting. That would have been different movie.
Plus different the fact that by all accounts, Edward Norton was being a pain in the arse behind the scenes. So
yeah. Well, that's something you hear about a lot, isn't it?
Yes, every movie he makes.
Right, next one. Although cut from the theatrical run, Captain America can be seen in the alternative beginning on the DVD and Blu-ray. Is this a thing?
I have no idea about that one.
No. Maybe in the montage bit. It says when the last piece of ice breaks up towards the screen, hit the pause button. There, frozen in the ice, lies Cap with his shield.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that. I'd have to.
Yeah.
I have the Blu-ray and I don't remember seeing that.
Maybe just like a fraction of a second thing.
I'll have to check that one out. I will check that one out for the next episode will be Iron Man 2, so I'll check that out for Iron Man 2.
Well, we're going to have loads to talk about because it's just us again, isn't it, for Iron Man 2?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Contrary to popular belief, the film does not contain a post-credits scene. The famous scene of Tony Stark approaching General Ross is the final scene of the main movie and occurs before the credits. A bit nitpicky.
It is a little bit. It is, but it's sort of they were about to make the mold of having the post and end credits scenes. So yeah, it's a bit nitpicky though. Makes you wonder.
I just thought it was a stinger, never mind, bygones. According to Tim Roth, Edward Norton rewrote scenes every day. Norton and Liv Tyler also spent hours discussing their characters' lives, especially before what a couple of wankers.
Ed Norton is known for doing this, though. Ed Norton, if you were to look at his catalogue, apparently this is something I've read before about Ed Norton. If you were to look at his catalogue, he pretty much on most of his movies has rewritten a good bulk of it. This is something that I hear a lot of about Ed Norton. Maybe one of the reasons he's so hard to work with.
Do you think that maybe they would just say that shut the fuck up because we've got Mark Ruffalo on the line?
Yes, 100%. I think they maybe said that by the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I think they were probably stood there in the offices and they were like, so Marvel, yeah, you know how you said so Paramount, Universal? So Universal, you know how you said Mark Ruffalo and we said Ed Norton, do you still have Ruffalo's number? Because we're going to go ahead with our MCU and we want Ruffalo. So, yeah.
Oh, can you imagine him doing that shit on, Avengers Assemble?
Exactly. This is what I was going to say to you earlier, this is one of the questions that I kind of had in my head. Is it a case of you've got Robert Downey Jr., who is known for being a bit of an anarchist on set and all that, and he's known for, although by this point he's changing his image, put him in the same room as Ed Norton, I think sparks are going to fly.
Yeah, I think you're right, and then, you get people upset and, quitting and all that shit. Yeah, you can't have that. Can't have that at all.
And that's one thing that Marvel's been very good at, is keeping everyone, keeping the peace, basically.
Yeah, you don't really hear, or you don't hear at all about, when they were making Avengers movies, or this guy was a complete arsehole or anything like that. You don't really hear any of that from Marvel movies, do you?
I think the only other one offhand that I could think of, and you didn't really hear about it for a good few years till after he was gone, was Terrence Howard in Iron Man 1.
Right, is that why he wasn't asked back?
Well, apparently he basically wanted, I'm sure it was something like he wanted the same money as Downey Jr. was getting. Or he wanted more money or something like that, and they weren't willing to give it to him because his character wasn't even that integral at that point. Some bullshit like that.
Well, even in Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3, he still wasn't as important as Tony Stark. It's fucking Tony Stark.
Exactly.
For God's sake.
And
I do prefer, that's a shame because I do actually prefer him to Don Cheadle.
See, I'm the other way. I like Don Cheadle.
Really?
I like Don Cheadle, but I think that's because I've seen a hell of a lot more of him in that role now. Maybe had Terrence Howard stuck around, then I would have been okay with it. But
yeah,
but
I was rewatching Iron Man, the first one earlier on today, and I like him in that movie. I like Terrence Howard in that movie.
He is good. He is good, especially that scene when he looks at the suit and he's like, maybe next time. Poor man.
Bless him.
Next
one. This is the only MCU Phase 1 film in which Nick Fury does not appear. However, his name appears in the opening credit montage at the 2:46 mark on a S.H.I.E.L.D. page with the text Nick Fury S.H.I.E.L.D. command. Bless him.
Think that was rushed in as well. I think that was like a last minute. Right, this Iron Man's taken off. Let's quickly throw this in. Maybe.
It would have. Again, they did have the S.H.I.E.L.D. emblem at one point in the film, so they must have an idea of what they were going for. So they just said, "We'll put that in just in case it works."
Yeah. Just in case.
Yeah. See, is this worth? This is right. Okay. Edward Norton, who had previously rewritten films he starred in, wrote a draft of the script, which Louis Leterrier and Marvel Studios found satisfactory in establishing the film as a reboot of Hulk 2003. As Norton explained, "I don't think that in great literature and films, explaining the story's roots means it comes in the beginning."
I never really come in the beginning, so.
Audiences know the story, so we're dealing with it artfully. Well, okay, that's quite a good point. When you think of Spider-Man,
Yeah.
we don't need to see that shit again. Batman, we don't need to see that shit again.
Yeah.
That's quite a good point. That is quite a good point, to be fair.
Pretty much what they're trying to do with Justice League, but it's not quite working.
I would even put quite in there. So, next one. In a deleted scene, Blonsky describes the Hulk to General Greller, Peter Mensa.
Okay.
8 foot, 1,500 pounds, easy and green. What?
Okay.
Oh, 1,500 pounds easy and green. Not easy and green. Like he's easy on, never mind, bygones. Or Gracer, greenish grey. It was very dark, I couldn't tell. This is a reference to the Hulk being grey in his first comic appearance. Okay, nerd. Around 7 minutes, it took the visual effects artists over a year to construct a shot where Dr. Banner's gamma-irradiated blood...
A year for that.
A year to do the shot where it falls through into the bottle. A year? Fuck off.
That's got to be bullshit. I'm not having that.
It doesn't even look that good.
It doesn't at all, does it? I've seen way better. Fucking Aliens did it way better.
Like the fucking blood in bloody shite, what's the name of it? Johnny Depp and Tim Burton, the cutty throaty one.
The Sweeney Todd.
That's the one. You know, the blood in that looks like very waxy and not like blood at all, because
it doesn't
intentionally, because it's Tim Burton.
And he's full of himself.
Yeah. Yeah, bless him. Right, okay, so next one. At around 4 minutes near the beginning of the movie, when Banner is flipping channels on the television, one of the shows he stops on is The Courtship of Eddie's Father, 1969, which starred Bill Bixby. Bixby is seen on the screen for several seconds. Bixby played Dr. Banner in The Incredible Hulk, 1978. Yeah. Oh, fair play. Okay, fair play.
Nice call. I like it.
Yeah, I like that kind of thing. Liv Tyler accepted the role without reading the script.
Understandable. It is Liv Tyler.
Well, shit, I didn't know this. David Duchovny was considered to play Bruce Banner before Edward Norton.
Nah.
I don't know how it would have worked.
No, nah.
Because, I like me some X-Files, but David Duchovny ain't the best actor in the world, really.
No. He's good at he's good in the X-Files. I like him in the X-Files, but he's also just kind of good at playing David Duchovny. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, or just being Mulder the entire time.
Yeah, which is why people seem to like Californication, because I think it's just a version of himself.
I've never watched that.
It's supposedly really good, but it is pretty much just David Duchovny being David Duchovny.
Fair play. But no, I don't. No. Fair play though. Louis Leterrier insisted that Tim Roth, of whom he is a big fan, be cast as the film's main antagonist.
Yes.
Even though Marvel Studios and Ed Norton were initially unsure. Why is he getting calls? Why is he getting to make the calls?
Who, Ed Norton?
Yeah, fuck off.
This is what I mean. This is like one of the things that you always hear about Ed Norton, is that when he's cast on a movie, he tends to try and be the big cock on set, And I think that's generally why he tends to not be in movies.
So Marvel Studios and Ed Norton, I don't like that, were initially unsure of Roth as a supervillain. Terrier later said, "It's great watching a normal Cockney boy become a superhero."
Wow. He referred to Tim Roth as a normal Cockney boy. What a dick. What a dick.
Does that upset you, does it?
It has a little bit, actually.
Oh, no. Sorry,
I love me some Tim Roth, so that does actually upset me a little bit.
we spoke about the return of Abomination.
Ah, excellent.
Originally, Abomination was going to return as a supporting antagonist in Avengers Age of Ultron, but was cut.
Yeah, I could see why. Where in the fuck would you put him in that movie?
Well, he wouldn't have supported Ultron.
No.
Would he? He wouldn't have been like a henchman for Ultron. That would be shit.
I suppose in Age of Ultron you have a lot of like the Hulk kind of wrestling with himself, so I suppose you could have had him in there somewhere.
I mean, you could have had maybe at the start, instead of the castle bit, you could have had Abomination kicking about and they have to go in and stop him.
Yeah, it's a strange one.
Yeah. Let's see. God, there's loads of them. Bloody hell. Right, I'll not read that one. Right. There are moments foreshadowing Captain America: The First Avenger 2011. First, there's a portrait of Steve Rogers, the original Captain America, in General Ross's office. Yeah. I didn't notice that.
I saw that.
Next, a label could be seen on a storage tank reading Dr. Reinstein, the doctor who developed the super soldier serum that made Rogers into the Cap. What was the last one? Wait a minute. Louis Terrier shot a scene where Banner encounters Captain in the Arctic, but it was cut out of the main film. It's on a special features options and some DVD editions.
In some?
Some.
Shut up. That's bullshit. They wouldn't put that on some.
It's not on yours.
They wouldn't put that on some DVD editions. It would be on
Maybe it's
all
like
DVD editions.
The first one, and they kind of thought, oh, that's shit, we're not going to put it on anymore.
Fuck. They wouldn't have done it at all. It's fucking bullshit. Nah, I'm not having that one.
You're calling bullshit on that one, right?
Bullshit on that one.
Okay. Right.
I like it, but it's bullshit.
Right. Around 1 hour 9 minutes, when Bruce Banner emails Dr. Blue with his data while Betty purchases the used truck, the email is tracked through the SHIELD database. I'm not reading all that.
You're not reading it out?
Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement Logistics Division.
Yeah, SHIELD.
Yeah.
Database.
That's what I said.
You should have done with
that. The visual effects expert based the Hulk and Abomination's movements on linebackers. Okay. That must be an American thing.
Yeah, it's like American football.
Yeah, we don't have that in proper football.
No, we have European football.
Exactly. Fuck that. Okay. William Hurt based his performances as General Ross on Captain Ahab.
Okay. William Hurt's a bit of a pretentious actor, so I'll go with it.
Yeah.
I do like him. I love a bit of William Hurt, but he's a bit up himself, so...
Yeah, fair play. Another... fucking hell. Edward Norton and Tim Roth filmed their Hulk Abomination fights on a stage using motion capture and 37 digital cameras. Roth enjoyed using the motion capture technology because it reminded him of a fringe theatre. Of fringe theatre?
Yeah, I've no idea what that means.
Must be some wanky acting thing.
Yeah.
Right, let's just wrap, because there's still fucking loads of them. Let's wrap this up. Honestly, there's bloody loads of them on this, like, right. Scene where a hopeless Bruce Banner arrives at the Arctic to commit suicide was featured in the trailer, but it was deemed too sensitive for young viewers and was removed from the film. So that must have been where he found Cap.
Yeah, bullshit on that as well.
Yeah. It's the fourth film where Ed Norton plays the character with an alter ego, following Primal Fear, Fight Club, and The Score.
The Score? Nice. With Mr. Marlon Brando. Where even Mr. Marlon Brando, I seem to remember reading that as well. He worked with Marlon Brando and Robert De Niro on The Score. And even Marlon Brando, Mr. really fucking hard to work with, anybody in Hollywood, Marlon Brando, said that Ed Norton was hard to fucking work with.
Wow.
I remember reading that as a Brando quote, and it was like, you, sir, have no right to talk.
But fuck me, if you're working with Marlon Brando,
yeah,
how dare you
exactly
go in there and start rewriting shit? How fucking dare? Who the hell do you think you are?
He's Ed Norton.
Shoddy. Yeah, shoddy. Yeah, we'll leave it there because there's still a good 20 things of trivia here. So
there'll be a lot of trivia on that one.
Yeah.
One of the things I did want to touch on before we wrap up the episode is the screenwriter for this movie is a Mr. Zach Penn. Did you have a look into Zach Penn at all?
I did not.
Excellent. Out of interest, what other movies based on The Incredible Hulk, because he's written a couple of superhero movies apart from The Incredible Hulk, what other movies do you think Zach Penn may have written based on The Incredible Hulk?
based on this movie, not based on the superhero aspect, just based on this movie.
Based on the superhero aspect, but also based on this movie, because there's some likenesses to this.
Right.
I found this quite interesting when I was looking at some of the stuff he's written, and some of it I'm kind of like, yeah, why would you give this guy another job? But he kept he kept getting them.
I don't know. You're gonna have to. Let's see. I'll go with Rise of the Silver Surfer.
No,
is that after that, or is that before that?
I think that was way before. Well. Anyway, some of his box office successes that he's had, I say successes, I use it lightly, is Elektra.
Oh dear.
Yep. X-Men: The Last Stand. So X-Men 3.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, way back in 1993, he wrote Last Action Hero.
Nothing wrong with that.
I know, we both like a bit of Last Action Hero. I just found it quite interesting because kind of he got that in 2008. He did The Incredible Hulk in 2008. But before that, he's done Elektra and X-Men: The Last Stand, two movies that weren't exactly overly popular with the fans, you know?
Mm.
I don't mind X-Men: Last Stand, but a lot of people don't like it. I mean, Vinnie Jones is fucking amazing in that movie.
Fucking hell. I've not watched that movie in years. I remember liking it the first time I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I probably only saw it one more time after that, to be honest.
And next year, we have the pleasure of Steven Spielberg's new movie, Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
Screenwriter on that as well.
Oh.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what that has... I really think that the hype is going to kill that movie.
I think it has massive, massive hype in it, and yeah, I want it to do well. I've never read the book, but I've heard a lot about the book, and I want this movie to be amazing, and tickle every nostalgia bone in my body. But like you say, the hype is getting a bit much.
Well, people are arseholes when a movie is hyped like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna end badly for the movie.
I think it will, but hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully Spielberg is going to keep up his run of great films, and Ready Player One is going to be the nuts.
Hopefully. But that's nothing to do with Hulk.
No, it's not. We keep tangenting because this movie...
Well, that's what we do. That is what we do, to be fair.
It is.
We have to rein ourselves in.
Interesting little tidbit for you here. We were talking about things that happened in the years and the months that this movie was made before we came on air. To coincide with The Incredible Hulk, in June, the month it was released, I think it was released in June in America?
It was released on June 8th in America and June 13th here.
The I'm going to fuck this up. The Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope was launched on June the 11th. I found it quite interesting because it's got Gamma Ray written in it. Doesn't really mean anything to me, but you know. That was the only thing I really found that month that really kind of interested me. I mean, in August we had like the 2008 Summer Olympics, which was in Beijing, which I remembered because that was when the pubs were open really early.
Wow.
And I got to have a lot of beer and eat burgers and bacon rolls at like 4 a.m. in the Brown Bear, which was cool. Not the Brown Bear, the Battery, which was cool. Yeah.
There you go.
So that was like a nice memory for me.
For you!
For me! Mm-hmm. Wasn't really much else went on that year. A lot of horrible shit went on, but we don't like to get mixed up in those things.
No.
Horrible shit.
No, we don't like to make comments about anything like that, do we?
No, only on the main show.
Yeah.
So do you have anything else you would like to talk about on The Incredible Hulk? Do you want to just give some overall final feelings on it?
Yeah, I mean, overall feeling in the movie, I had a great time watching the film. I think it's underrated. I can see why they recast Ed Norton. I kind of am very, very interested to see what would have happened if they'd actually cast Mark Ruffalo in this film. And yeah, I mean, I think that if people haven't watched this movie before, you know, give it a go, give it a try.
I think it's It's definitely worth a watch. It is definitely worth a watch, and it does get a lot of shit. Like, and it's not really shit as in people give it like nonsense, but they just do forget about it, and nobody talks about it, and it's a shame because I think it's a solid as fuck movie.
Well, that's what I said at the start here. Is it's kind of the Batman Begins of it, because there's so many other movies that Marvel have done now, and it's not really considered to be part of the Tony Stark movies and the Cap movies and Avengers Assemble and all that kind of thing. It's apart from those because it's a different actor and all that kind of thing. So I think that because of that, it's forgotten about.
It is as well, and like we said earlier, they tend to not pay it credence, but they have lately with William Hurt turning up. That's kind of the only thing they've done, is like they've said, right, we want Thunderbolt Ross now, so we're going to use William Hurt for Thunderbolt Ross, and that's about as much as we're going to say about the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, that's pretty much the way they feel about it. Which is upsetting because I do really enjoy this movie.
So it's a recommend from both of us anyway.
Oh, 100%.
If anybody hasn't, I mean, I would imagine there will be plenty of people who haven't watched this movie. I hadn't seen it in years.
Well, as you say, you don't actually own the Blu-ray, and I think much like you don't own the Blu-ray, there'll be a lot of people who don't own the Blu-ray who, frankly, have not seen it.
Yeah.
Like you say, it's because they don't talk about it, they don't reference it, whereas every other movie has little references to themselves. They don't really reference this one.
Well, exactly, and because you've got you've got Mark Ruffalo's Hulk kicking about now, since 2012.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he's killing it. He's amazing.
Of course he is. But because he's kicking about there, then that Edward Norton's Hulk is just sort of forgotten about. It's back there in the past next to Eric Bana's.
Exactly. And the one good thing that this movie does have going for itself is that it sits higher than Thor: The Dark World on Rotten Tomatoes. So yay.
Well, there you go.
Is that really
it's
saying
not
anything?
Difficult, is it?
I was going to say, is that saying anything? So one thing we said going into this was that we were going to have a running thing where people were going to give their top fives of the MCU. Do you want to give yours in this episode, or do you want to? Oh
shit! I've not thought about that yet.
Right. Well, we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, we can do it on Iron Man 2 if you want. I've not thought about that yet, though.
But just so the people know, people that are listening, that are keeping up with the road to the Infinity Wars, that is something we're going to be doing. We started it in Iron Man with the big man, Big Dev, and he will be giving his top five, and we're going to carry that on until the end, so that once we get to the end, between the guests and ourselves, we will have an overall top five of what we think of the MCU. I'll find a way of giving that points and working that out. Or I'll just say, fuck you, I'm choosing.
Oh, like that, right. Okay. No, fuck that. I'll make a spreadsheet.
No, you love a spreadsheet. We will have a spreadsheet for that.
A spreadsheet for it.
But is there anything else you want to say? I mean, personally, I think, like you said, this is an underrated movie. I think people should see it. It's a great little film. There's fantastic action sequences in there. Okay, it's not one of the best MCU movies.
Well, it is better than The Dark World, so
which isn't hard. Would you put it above Iron Man 2?
No.
I
still like Iron Man 2.
A lot of people don't like Iron Man 2 either.
Well, a lot of people are wrong, aren't they? So.
Well, be honest with you, I haven't rewatched it for this series yet, but I remember enjoying it back in the day. So
I remember I went to see it in the cinema and I thought it was fucking fantastic. So, but then I still enjoy Iron Man 3.
Well, that's just your problem, not mine.
Well, exactly. And we're going to keep on getting more high-pitched then.
Probably. So, are we just going to wrap this up here?
Yes, please.
So, yeah, basically, this is your Incredible Hulk episode. We will be back next week, which will be Iron Man 2. which, as far as I'm aware, is just going to be me and yourself again.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
And we have some awesome guests coming up on this franchise show series thing. We have the likes of Andrea Molinari coming on from they wrote The Shepherd. He's going to be coming on to talk Thor. We have our good friend Mike Beckingham coming on at some point. Which one did he say? He took Guardians, didn't he? Guardians 2.
I can never remember. Have you not got a spreadsheet for it?
I've not got a spreadsheet, but I do have it written down somewhere. The boys from Hobie are coming on, the Jock and Nerd are coming on. We've all got some movies coming up, and this franchise is going to keep on rolling.
Well done.
Hopefully, because we might just get into the new year and I'll be like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
But if all else fails, we'll have 2 in the can. So, would you like to say goodbye to the listeners, and we'll end it there?
Yeah, goodbye, and we will see you on Iron Man 2.
We will.